What's up, guys? It's your boy S0vsS2 here. Um, come to you with one of my first tower fantasy videos, and it's gonna be a tips and guides and showcase of this character Frigg. But the tips and guides is gonna be about Wormhole and how you can play Wormhole without having to struggle so much with dealing damage. So the thing is, it's all about how many blessings that you can acquire through each round to get to those bonuses, those bonus stacks. The 4 stack, the 8 stack. How many you can acquire. So for the first 3, get 12. For the boss, you get plus 3, so that's 15. For the last 3, you get another 12. So that's 27. And for the last boss, that doesn't matter. It just tallies up to 30. So at minimum, you can get 27 of these bonuses to fight the last boss. But I can show you how to get more. Now this may not be the first video you came across for tips and tricks of Wormhole, but I kind of just make it just for more people to see it, because I notice a lot of creators and stuff that I watch don't do this particular trick, and most of their viewers are left wondering how to, complete and really do, Wormhole without worrying. So the first tip and trick, let me show you once I get away from danger, quote unquote. Here are the tips and tricks for Wormhole. The one thing you want to pay attention to is how many blessings that you're accruing for each round, right? And killing the little minions adds a plus 2% to your score. So killing the little minions is not going to be important at all when it comes to these small floors. Do not kill them unless you need health regen. It's the only reason. Because you can scuff yourself out of a buff from killing too many of them, or 2 or 3 buffs, depending on how many that you actually kill. So, like I said, if you kill nothing but the bosses in each of the floors, most buffs you can get before the last floor, the 8, is 27. No minimum. The minimum you can get is 27. But I can show you how to get so much more. Here's the damage that my S0 Frigg, at the time S0, does in Wormhole.
Dawn.
So now that you've seen that, and get an idea, you can piece together whether your team is doing, your 1 DPS unit is doing the same amount of damage or not. And if they're not doing nearly that much, then listening to what I have to say can help you greatly. I didn't take like any healer with me, and finished the boss just fine without a healer. It's very possible.
Not too bad.
with a high investment into your gear. Granted, my gear is probably better than most. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 golds at the time. I think I only had 2 at the time at the S0 Frigg. I got some stars, some advancements. Combat score is pretty high. So granted, that does factor in, but you can make up that difference, that gap, by doing this one tip. And I'm going to show you right here. So here we are in the wormhole. The first thing you want to do is look around for any floor buffs. You want to make sure, but you want to make sure too, when you look around for any floor buffs, you see these 2 bosses that are next to each other? Keep that in mind. And they can run, right? They can close the distance. You have a 3rd boss here, keep that in mind. Still just run around, floor buff, let's grab that. Want to get out your exploration gear so you can get up here to these buffs. A lot of people probably don't know that they actually are up high. And like I said before, you don't want to kill any of the small minions, especially on the 1st floor, because you haven't lost any health. And even if you do lose some, it's not that big of a deal. So there's 3 bosses near each other. Keep that in mind. Now with the floor buffs, you can hold on to them until you've killed all the bosses and cleared the round. To get those final stacks that you need, you can. Or you can just go ahead and add to the stacks. You know? So that's 2 bosses near each other. So here's where your discretion comes in. I also recommend going high up and seeing if there's any bosses on the high floor. See, he's by himself. It's going to be hard to group him. So you can start with this one.
How about this?
Start by killing this dude. So that's bit. You see how I kill some minions probably below me because of Frigg's ult. Hit the boss. Killed at least 2 of them. So that adds to the score. You want to make sure that you're killing nothing but bosses, really. So let's do this. So I killed that one by himself. This one doesn't seem to be grouped near anybody. And you see the distance between these 2? This guy will probably run off far before you get done fighting the other one. But still check up high first. See if there's any other bosses. None? Okay, so now we can work at killing them too.
Final blow.
You're right, you probably could have grouped these 2. Those 2 over there.
Destroy.
This one and that boss. We're just going to kill him. Because we can get at least 3 of them. So there's one over there. Probably could have grouped them. But we'll make do. You can group him and this boss inside though.
Gather your fighting spirit.
Here's where we're not going to do that because we only need 1 more boss, right? So boom. Now we're at 89%. You can get some more of these buffs here. Final crit. Crits cause targets to bleed. You want that. Increase final crit rate. You want that. Now, the reason why I didn't group these 2 together is because that would have ended my level and I would have only got a +1 buff. you don't want to do that. Even though I said grouping was the key, you don't want to do that because over here you have two bosses next to each other, right? And then, did we kill the third? Where was the third at? Yeah. Well, either way, now we can get. See, right there, I would have gotten one buff at 89, and then I got one buff at 100. But this time, I'm gonna get one buff for 100%, and then one extra buff past that. Because I'm gonna group these two together. Make sure you hit them. Make sure you cause damage to each one, and then you don't have to worry. You only have to worry about killing one.
Gather your fighting spirit.
But make sure they're both damaged. But you only have to worry about killing one. See, look, I have two. Over there, I would have only got a +1. Now I have two to pick up at 100. I would have only had one to pick up at 100. Now I have two. So now you can add this to your. Now these are just bad rolls. But see, that's how you would do it. Now you can work at that to make it better. But this is exactly what you would do in order to get extra buffs at the end of the round. So now that we're here, we're going to check out the buff totals and let's see. So here we have 2 + 2 is 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 7 mini bosses out of that run. If you do nothing but the little bosses, that's only 4 because they're each 25%. The minimum you can get is 4. I got 7. Most people are only killing maybe 4, maybe 5. But you can get 3 more buffs if you do this tipping trick. Granted, that's a bad roll, and this is what you want. You want your crit rate, and you want your attack to do the damage. But that trick is very useful. That's 3 extra bosses. That's 75% efficiency. To get these buffs. And if you add that up, let's just say I can get 7 more each round. If I do this 3 times, that's 21. Do it another 3 times past this boss, because this boss will give +3, it's 24. Do this 3 more times, another 21, that's 48. That's 48 buffs I can have. And I'll show you how many buffs I actually have for this last boss with my S2 Frigg. And you'll see the damage that she outputs at S2. And watch the ice domain explosion.
Soul strike. You will not see another dawn. Destroy. dawn.
So, that being said, as you can see, um, getting those buffs is very important to being able to do enough damage to the bosses very quickly, and maybe without having to subsequent a slot for a healer or a shielder and get nothing but buffers, shield breakers, like I have. Like I said, at minimum, if you did nothing but the bosses, which is what you should be doing, unless you need the health regen, at minimum, you can get 27. On my last floor, if you count it, I had 44 buffs. 44. That's 10 short of doubling your minimum. So I almost doubled the minimum. If you continuously do that through each wormhole, you can get through them a lot easier. Or you can subsequent some of those stacks to get some of those stacks so you can, you know, get some reduction, damage reduction more, or, you know, just a little bit more damage that you need. So with that being said, this video is courtesy of what I've already seen from a guy named Matt Jestik. You can check him out if you want to. But yeah, see you guys a bit later. Peace.